Today I want to create a modern retro-styled office setup because I really appreciate the look and feel of these old Nintendos, these old Macintoshes, but as you can see in my video history, I am really into mechanical keyboards and split keyboards. And I am very happy that Lofree was offering to send me over the keycaps and the switches with their retro mouse to create this office setup. Without further ado, let's just jump into it and take a look what Lofree sent over. Let's take a look at the touch mouse first. And it's like a very different thing from the mouse perspective, something that I did not see before. And you may saw that I tested this Keychron mouse. I use it also quite often. I also have this MX mouse. It is already in very bad conditions. As you can see, I used it a lot and it broke down because of this button here. Then I have this Apple mouse. I also not use it a lot. And I also currently have this trackpad from Apple that I am using. So this is basically my current mouse setup and I use all of them. Except this Apple mouse, I don't use it. So let's remove it. I use the trackpad quite often. This one I used a lot until it broke down. So let's unpack it. So it reminds me on this retro Nintendo NES system or the old Apple computers. And I really appreciate this look. And the whole system should be retro style. So yeah, I really like the look. It has USB-C here. It has a dongle, I assume. And it feels like it is magnetic, so it snaps in. Very interesting. Cool look. Let's turn it on. And here you can do the mode, I assume. So we have now, what is it? DPI, cable. No, we don't want to have cable. 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth 1. So let's connect it up. It looks very nice, and what I appreciate, you can change the look, so you can unplug it and put another backplate on it that it looks different. They have quite a few available on their website. This will be first part of the setup. So the second part are the switches. I got the Phantom switches. These are the tactile ones. We have this nice switch puller. And then we have the switches. So let's take them out. They perfectly fit to the underground. And here they are. They have a very silent but clicky feel. Quite heavy, but compared to the Red Pros at least, because I mean it's way more heavy to click them. But they feel very nice to click. So yeah, let's build the keyboard with them and see how they are. But before that, we want to take a look at the keycaps that we want to use for this build. So it will match the whole aesthetics of this retro style. So here are the flow keycaps in the retro style. Let's open them up. Oh, that's a very nice add-on, a little keycaps puller in the same color style. Oh. Here we have them. Let's take a closer look. I really like the colors. This time I also got myself a white PCB to match the whole aesthetics, and I printed myself already 2 base plates to fit in. So here we can fit the PCB in the same color. It's not fully the same, but nearly the same. It's the eSun bone color or something. I will put it in the video. You will see it now. And there's enough space below for the battery. So it will be a wireless build as usual. So here the battery will fit in. So that's the whole idea. I also wanted to show you something. I recently learned how to hot solder with these hot plates. It's a quite cheap Chinese plate for like 10 euros. And last time I completely messed up and didn't get it running. But this time I understood how to do it. Basically what you're doing is you put the soldering paste on these points, put the components on it, put it on the heat bed, and it solders itself on it. Last time I was just too, I put too much paste on it. So you need to be gentle with the paste. You just put it on the point where you want to have the contact and not all over the place. And then it works very, very well. So yeah, this time I will hot solder the whole thing, and it should take me then way less time. So let's see how fast I am with building the keyboard and then move on to the next plate. We're placing the diodes on here. We put the hot swappable socket on here. We have to bridge over the microcontroller bridges because I want to have it hot flippable, so you can use it either side. And also we have to bridge the display contacts because the contacts are also on both sides. Then we put on the on-off switch, the reset switch, and the battery. Also, you have to make sure the battery is connected correctly. So I put in plus and minus on here. You can either use the V2 switches, the Choc V2 or the Choc V1 switches. So both are working. So if you order this PCB, you can decide yourself which switches you want to put in. So here you can see the V2 switches from Choc. Here we have the Choc V1 switches. They are also fitting in here. And then you have the original V2 switches from Kali. They have a third pin, so this should also work in here. And this is a bit less wobbly again because they have the extra pin in it. The V2 is a tiny bit higher, but it has also a way longer travel path that feels very good. But anyhow, let's build it up. By the way, one thing, I don't know if you noticed, but I removed the track point in here because the 200 milliamps battery was way too little for the track point. So the track point pulled so much power that I had to basically charge it every 3, 4, 5 hours. So 200 milliamps are way too low if you want to use the track point. Also, I raised it a bit, so it was very good accessible, but in the end, I had to mouse. If I move my mouse, I have to move it that much that I rather reach for a trackpad or the mouse than using the track point. So in the end, I did not use it too much and rather have the battery life. Also, I want to replace the battery with a bigger one. So maybe I will put in a 500 milliamps. And in the current build that I am currently building, there will be 1500. So if you use the track point or if you build yourself a keyboard with a track point, make sure you have a big enough battery in it because it drains the battery way faster than it would without it. As usual, I thought it would be done in like 2 hours, but in the end it took me over 7 hours to build the whole keyboard. But I am very happy with the result. It looks really good, it feels really good, it clicks really good. One thing that took me 2 hours and I couldn't figure it out yet is how to run the display. I figured out how to run the display, but it took me more than a day and I had to reach out to the Discord channel in the ZMK. So if you have any questions, reach out into the ZMK channel. They are very helpful and they support you with questions and configurations. Let's hear the sound. It sounds really nice. It's really thocky, but not clicky. It's not too loud, but also not really silent. So it feels really good. From my perspective, it's a bit heavy. So the clicks is a bit heavier than my Red Pro. And I currently really appreciate this lightness of the Red Pros. But it feels really good. And yeah, most of all, it looks amazing. So this definitely will be my next daily driver for a while now, because I really appreciate the look. The mouse, it's a really nice mouse. It looks different, that I really appreciate the look of it. It's very loud clicking. So I probably will not bring it to the office to work because yeah, it's too loud for the office. One thing that I really don't like on the mouse is the back and forth buttons. They don't work with Mac on Bluetooth. They stated on the website, so not a really surprise, but this is something that annoys me a bit because I'm a Mac user and I really would appreciate if the mouse would work on Mac with Bluetooth because I don't want to have any cables and I don't have a spot open for the 2.4 gigahertz connector. So I am bound to Bluetooth and without these buttons it's a bit, yeah, it's a bummer. but the look and the feel is really good. The scroll wheel is also very nice. Check out the Lofree switches because they are really good. For the case, I used this eSun Bone colored PLA, and it matches the look and feel very, very well. So I'm really pleased with the whole result. There's a 1,500 milliamps battery below, so I hope this brings me to at least a week of work. I wish you a great rest of the year. It is nearly end of the year, so check out my last video where I try to understand who am I with ChatGPT and my YouTube watch history. So if you didn't see it yet, check it out. And yeah, I wish you a great rest of the year. Happy coding. See you next time.